So guys, today we are gonna smell with you some very popular niche perfumes. And I personally really wanna find out what the hype is all about. Such perfumes as Creed Aventus, DELOX by Tiziana Terenzi, Naxos by Xerjoff, Psychedelic Love by Uniqueu, and Dolce AMALFI by Xerjoff Casamorati. If you want to find out my thoughts on these perfume hits, please keep on watching, but if you have any experience with them, please comment it down below. Now you'll have some time to like this video if you want to see more of these, and of course subscribe to my channel if you don't want to miss any of my future ones. Do that and let's get started. Hi guys, welcome back. I'm so glad to be able to film this video because I got these popular niche fragrances from the company Uniqueu that creates decants of different niche perfumes, and you can sign up for the subscription and then receive different niche perfumes of your choice every month that come in decants like these. And not only they are stylish and very handy, I love that there is enough, to test properly a fragrance and later realize if it is worth to be purchased in a full format. And if you can't get enough of your decant, you can always get a full-size bottle from this brand. So definitely check out their official website and the catalog of perfumes that they offer. And what's cool is that they provided you, my dear subscribers, with a discount code. It's Yana30 with 30% off on your first subscription. So link is below in the description box, please check it out. And on that note, we can get started. And of course, I've already tried these out because this is gonna be a review on 5 very popular niche perfumes. But if you would like to see first impressions on any other fragrances that Uniqueu offers, please let me know them down below in the comments and I'd be glad to do that too. Alright, so I wanna start with a fragrance by Tiziana Terenzi, which, as you know, is a very popular Italian niche brand. It is actually a family-owned business, and last year I shot an interview with Paola and Tiziana. You can watch it on my Instagram, and there is one fragrance in their collection that always seemed very interesting to me, probably because it was compared to my favorite perfume from Montal, Intense Cafe. And the one I'm talking about from Terenzi is DELOX. But it seemed like Terenzi introduced some different notes to Intense Cafe. So I was very curious about it. Let's spray it on. Check out the sprayer. Distribution of fragrance is very seamless. It comes out like a cloud, which I personally enjoy because that way you can get fragrance anywhere you want. For example, I will put it on my hair because I love it. Yes, I love it. Basically because it's identical to Intense Cafe, and as I've already said, I love Intense Cafe. If I need to tell you the only difference, it probably would be the strength, because Intense Cafe might be a little bit too sharp and pungent. It's right in your face, and this one is very strong too, and from the opening you'll get that sugary sweet rose that is also in Intense Cafe. But as it sits on the skin, in my opinion, DELOX becomes rounder, but still it is about vanillic, sweet, sugary rose. Coffee is not the dominant note in here, as it isn't in Intense Cafe. New notes that should be found in DELOX but are unnoticeable to me are white hyacinth, iris, opoponax, and honey. I was excited for them, and I can't really smell them. All I smell is Intense Cafe, and I'm really into its sweetness. So if you like Intense Cafe and you want a very similar perfume, almost identical, that's it. Honestly, probably I wouldn't be able to tell the difference if I smelled both side by side blindly. Actually, I can do that in a battle, so let me know if you would like to see that video. But yeah, I love DELOX very much. I wanted something that would be in Intense Cafe style, but with these new elements. So if you can recommend me something, please do. But DELOX for me is definitely one of the best Tiziana Terenzi fragrances, although It is pretty much like an exact copy of Montal's Intense Cafe. So with that being said, let's move on to something that is probably most well-known fragrance from another Italian niche brand called Xerjoff, and their fragrance Naxos has been so popular for a long time. Now I find like the hype settled down because, you know, it's not the newest fragrance out there, but still, you know, people know its name, and Naxos is a very, very interesting composition that I don't know why, but expected to be different than it turned out to be. So it's very, very good that I didn't purchase it in a full size, because I wanted to blind buy it, because people were like going crazy about it, and maybe I didn't pay attention to those reviews, but I did not expect lavender in here to be the main player, which it is. I just thought it's gonna be spicier because of cinnamon and sweeter because of honey, tobacco, and, you know, like tonka bean, coumarin, vanilla. So it's a fougere, you know. There is coumarin and lavender. I like that lavender in here is on the sweet side, but in the opening it smells like lavender soap to me, and probably I think it's rather masculine because I personally associate lavendery fragrances with, you know, classy barbershop fragrances for men. So if there are men among you who loves lavender and barbershoppy perfumes, and you want it to be in the niche style with amazing depth, with beautiful sillage, and you want it to last all day long, Naxos performs really well. I wouldn't call it a loud fragrance, but it is definitely noticeable. And actually, I could say that Deluxe and Naxos could be worn by men and women who are into business, and they're wearing expensive designer clothing, and they're always very stylish and you know, just super luxurious. Although Deluxe might be a little bit too flirty for office and, you know, formal occasions, but Naxos is great for that. But it's not necessarily something that is my dreamy fragrance, although if I would be into beautiful, masculine, sweetie lavender fragrance, I would reach out for it. But I have many more exciting fragrances today, one of which is Aventus. We'll get into it in a minute, but I just wanted to move on to another fragrance from, oops, I dropped it. Xerjoff from the Casamarati collection, and I have Lyra from it, which is an amazing sweet caramelized vanilla gourmand with beautiful bitter orange in the top, and you know, I adore that fragrance. And I was very curious about another gourmand one that is called Dolce Amalfi, and unlike all the other fragrances about Amalfi, this is not a citrus cologne, because a lot of them are, and that makes sense because, you know, Amalfi is this Italian city by the sea, so all fragrances that are called like Amalfi, they smell citrusy and fresh and light. This one is not like them. This perfume is so good. Love at first sniff for me. In the opening, very exotic note Kins that I was very intrigued by because I don't have much experience with it. I haven't smelled many fragrances with note of Kins. I don't even know that fruit that well. So it smells very exotic and, you know, fruity spicy in the opening, which makes sense because other than Kins, there is cardamom, apple and saffron. Saffron is not my favorite spicy note because it is way too sharp, and I like that cardamom is more dominant than saffron, but really that apple brings in the juicy vibe, and Kins is exotic and jammy, sweet. The opening is beautiful, and later fragrance develops into the spicy direction because in the heart there are cloves, and cloves are dangerous in culinary and in perfumery, because if you using you know, like hard hand, you need to be light-handed with clove, otherwise it will overpower everything else. And thanks God this fragrance is so harmonious and well blended that cloves, they just bring in that oomph, you know, that warmth, that beautiful exotic spicy vibe. Maybe even not, no, it doesn't smell like Christmas, but it doesn't smell like, you know, these light citrus Amalfi colognes. This one smells like Amalfi during the Christmas time, because you know it is spicy and balsamic. There is tulle balsam, beautiful vanilla, ambery, dry down, and as I was wearing, Benny complimented me on it, which you know is a good sign. Actually, he was reminded of his favorite Louis by Guerlain, and if you haven't seen our review on that perfume, please check it out, because that is the only oriental sweet spicy fragrance that Benny goes crazy about. And it totally makes sense to me now, as he told me that, because honestly they share similar notes. In Louis there is kind of like candied pear, and later cloves, once again same as here, incense and vanilla. So here we have quince, not pear, but if you like Louis, you're looking for something similar, that is it. I personally find the bottle in my collection would feel perfectly. I need a bottle of this fragrance, but so far I'm really enjoying my decant and compliments that I'm collecting for it, because you know it's luscious, it's warm, it's really a must try in my personal opinion, particularly for the colder time, because it's so cozy and it smells a little bit like quince jam with a hint of booze, and who doesn't wanna have some booze in the perfume? It's unisex, it's like a spicy gourmand. Alright, let's move on to another fragrance with fruity notes. Of course, very different from Dolce AMALFI, because we are gonna talk about Creed Aventus. And this is a very popular fragrance, probably most well-known niche perfume for men, which is so hyped, and a month of clones that Aventus has is unbelievable. It is probably the most cloned niche fragrance ever. And who am I to judge it? No, I could, but I won't, because I personally like it. It's not my love, but I appreciate it, because you know it's not this boring citrusy, typically masculine perfume. I find that addition of pineapple, black currant and birch with, you know, patchouli and apple and moss, there is something very, very mouth-watering about it, and in my personal opinion it smells like a man with good taste, despite the fact that there are so many other alternatives, pricier and cheaper. In my personal opinion, Aventus is probably must-have for every man, or at least something similar in this style, because it smells like a man who is handsome, who's gentleman, but at the same time with a sense of humor. He's not overly a good boy, but also not a bad boy. You know, it's just like not the perfect man, but close to perfection. If you still don't have Aventus and you're not sure if you like it, just get a decant and maybe you fall in love with it, because ladies love it, men love it, and I'm not an exception on it. So guys, I saved best for last perfume that was so hyped that I was sure I won't like it, because sometimes I'm not into, like often I'm not into hyped perfumes. I like unique stuff, perfumes that smell different, unusual. That's why I love to inform you about all these indie brands, you know, with their super special fragrances. And if something gets a lot of hype, I'm like very suspicious about it. And I did not expect to love, and particularly not to fall in love at first sniff, with Psychedelic Love by Uniqueu. Have you already heard about this perfume? I did. Wow. In the opening, it actually reminded me of a fragrance I don't like, which is Orchid by Tom Ford. I don't remember if black or purple, but if you like them, you need this. Because in the opening, you would say, oh, this is a dupe, they are the same, which they are. Interesting that there are completely different notes in these fragrances, because there is like truffle and patchouli, and this one smells like syrupy patchouli, but in fact there is ylang ylang, bergamot, heliotrope, hedion, rose, myrrh and sandalwood. But I get syrupy patchouli. However, later it turns into some addictive perfume drug, powdery, absolutely irresistible. I love it. I find this is such a cool fragrance, particularly if you want something noticeable, if you're going out, if you want a compliment, if you want a bold perfume with character. This is so good. Honestly, full bottle worthy. I want a bottle of it. I want to smell more of Uniqueu perfumes, and I know that Uniqueu offers quite a few of them, so if you would like to see me testing them, let me know that, and let me know how you feel about Psychedelic Love, because indeed it is very addictive, and I personally love addictive fragrances, and that means that I want to come back to the perfume. It can be strange, it can be even not in my style, but if it makes me wanna wear it over and over again and I'm not tired of it, I really love those fragrances most, and Psychedelic Love is a true discovery for me that I adore and recommend all to try. And that was my take on some very popular niche perfumes. I would like to know if you've heard of them, if you have any experience with them. Please let me know your feedback, and also which other fragrances you want me to review for you. I'm looking forward to chat with you, particularly if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them. And of course, check out Uniqueu, subscribe, and use my code. I know that they ship worldwide and their service is amazing. So on that note, thank you so much for watching this one. If you enjoyed it and learned something new for yourself, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe to my channel, and please stay tuned and smell good. We'll see each other in the next one. Bye guys.